So I was going to make a video about my thoughts on the A6400. I mean, I know I already made a video talking about that, but I wanted to make one that compared it to the M50 and my own internal struggles about which one to get. And then I see this. Panasonic has, I shouldn't say released, they've announced or officially announced the S1 and the S1R. So let's look at this. Okay, so the Panasonic S1 and S1R are Panasonic's foray into full-frame mirrorless cameras. And up to this point, they have been absolute darlings amongst video makers because they've been known to put all the features that video makers need into an affordable camera. They don't hold anything back, and they have industry-leading in-body stabilization. Okay, and they give you the flip-out screen so that vloggers can look at themselves when they record. So there have been many YouTube channels that have built themselves using Panasonic cameras. I'm pretty sure Unbox Therapy started out with a Panasonic camera. I know Everyday Dad used to record on a Panasonic camera. And even now, I think Jordan and Chris on DP Review typically use Panasonic cameras to record their video reviews. So going into this, Panasonic has done a lot of things right. They've not been very good with their autofocus, but it was something that most people were willing to work around, and they were still willing to use Panasonic cameras. So now they are entering this very crowded and competitive market of full-frame mirrorless cameras that has traditionally been dominated by Sony. And just in the last year, in 2018, Canon and Nikon have also entered into that space. And so it is a crowded and competitive space, and Panasonic is wanting a piece of that pie. But rather than going in with a compelling product, they come out with the S1 and the S1R. And I feel that these cameras are unfortunate. So let's talk about why. First of all, it is crazy expensive. The S1 is $2,500 and the S1R is $3,700. For that price, you are not only competing against the venerable Sony a7 III, but you are actually charging more. You better be offering something a lot better than the Sony a7 III. And it doesn't. It still has bad autofocus. It doesn't use phase detection. It's still using that, what is it called? Depth by defocusing or some nonsense like that. It has not improved its autofocus in any way, and yet they are charging more. And they've removed features that they have previously been loved for including, like that flip-out screen. They've removed it. They've instead implemented some stupid flippy screen, just like how Sony, it continues to use that stupid flip-up screen. The story gets worse. If you look at the lenses that were announced for this camera, you've got a 50mm f1.4, which is great. It sounds like a sweet lens, but they're charging $2,300 for that lens. That lens is more than the Sony a7 III. They're offering a 70-200 f4 for $1,700, and their kit lens is a 25-105 f4. That's going for $1,300. So the only fast lens in that group is the 50mm f1.4. And all of these lenses are well over $1,000, with that 50mm being well over $2,000. Who is this camera for? So Panasonic, who used to be the darling amongst YouTube creators, okay, with a camera that people loved. It used to be a camera that all of these YouTubers would use because it was so awesome, but also affordable. Now you have a camera that is going to be $4,000, $5,000 maybe, and you remove the flip out screen, I don't think this camera is going to sell very well. I think it's going to be a good camera. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a good camera, and there are professionals who are going to be able to make use of its features. But it's definitely not going to be that ubiquitous YouTuber camera. And you might be thinking, well, maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it should just focus on the professional market. But why? Why would you limit your market to only professionals? Do you not want to make money? If you look at the Sony a7 III, that camera is now everywhere on YouTube. Everybody is shooting their YouTube videos on a7 IIIs. That's what you should do. You should make a camera that is feature rich and affordable so that you can dominate a market. I don't know what you're planning to do with the S1. So this is a thoroughly uninteresting camera announcement, and I will pay even less attention to it than I already do most full-frame cameras. And that's it for now. I'll talk about the A6400 another day. This was shot on my Sony Alpha 65 with a 16 to 50 millimeter lens on autofocus. So the aperture is at 3.5. It is at 60 frames a second. Shutter speed is a 60th of a second. And ISO is on auto. And the white balance is currently set to auto as well. And I'm shooting on the portrait profile at -3, -3, and 0.